Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, and on Friday I like to give out tips and tricks related to various topics of weight loss surgery. So this week we're going to be talking about the liquid phase of weight loss surgery. I know this topic, some people kind of get to that phase and they are hesitant, some people are nervous, some people are scared, some people are anxious. So there's all kind of emotions. But in today's video, we're going to talk about some tips. We're going to just talk about the why. We're really just going to dig into this phase. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. So tip number one. Tip number one is look into your program's requirements. Everybody has different requirements. Every surgeon, every program has different requirements, and your surgery might look different from somebody else's surgery that's seeing a different doctor. So it's very important, if you already have you're established in a program, maybe you're early on, or maybe you're even thinking about it and you're trying to get your questions together for your consultation, or maybe you're still even just searching around. But one of the things that I definitely would do up front is give me an idea of what this is going to look like. Part of what your program might look like is going to be to complete a liquid phase at some point. Now, like I said, every program is different. Maybe you only have to do a liquid diet for a couple of days. Maybe you only have to do it for a week. Maybe you have to do it for 2, or maybe you have to do it for several weeks. So it's just important to kind of know what your program is going to look like. There's a lot of different components, and you can check out some of my other videos where I talk about other aspects. But today we're going to focus in on this liquid diet. I had to do 1 week of a liquid diet pre-surgery, and after surgery I had to do 3 weeks of a liquid diet. So in total I had to do 4 weeks of a liquid diet, and it was not easy, but we're gonna go over some tips and some tricks, and we're gonna make this a little bit easier for you than it was for me. So check with your program to see what the requirements are. How long of a liquid diet are you gonna have to do before surgery? How long of a liquid diet are you going to have to do after surgery? These are important questions because you want to know what you're getting yourself into so you can prepare the best that you can. So before your surgery, it's highly likely that you're going to have to complete some type of liquid diet. The liquid diet is very important to your surgery. It's not just to deprive you or to starve you from solid foods before you make this big commitment, but it really has a lot to do with setting you up for a successful surgery. The liquid diet before surgery is also known as a liver reduction diet. So this liver reduction liquid diet is going to help to shrink your liver. Shrinking your liver is going to help when the surgeon is actually performing your surgery so they can get to your stomach. Because of how your anatomy is, I'm not a medical professional, so if I don't get this precise, I don't know. You can't take my medical degree because I don't have one. But so your liver sits on top of your stomach. So to reduce the size of your liver really helps your surgeon on that operating table. So it just really sets you up for success. It is even a risk if your doctor does order you to have a liver reduction diet. If they have you, do this liquid diet and you don't do it and your liver is not reduced enough, that could cause complications, or it could cause them to cancel your surgery. They could just be, in there attempting your surgery and can't do what they need to do, and they could close you up and your surgery could be canceled and you're going to be stuck with fees more than likely. So if you are ordered to do this liver reduction, this liquid diet before you have surgery, it's very important that you try your best. This may be a simple task for you, but it might not be a simple task for you. For me, it was super hard. It was hard. I can't front. I'm not going to sit up here and say it was easy. You just do it, you get through it. You do get through it, but it definitely wasn't easy. However, just know the why behind it. Know why they're asking you not to eat solid foods. It's definitely helping you to set yourself up for a good surgery. And you doing your part is going to help your surgeon do their part in the operating room for sure. So I gave my tip number 1 and we talked about the why, but let's kind of look at what a liquid diet may actually look like. So for my liquid diet, I could have protein in a protein shake. That shake could be pre-made, or it could be protein powder that was mixed with some type of milk. It could be cow's milk, almond milk, cashew milk, oat milk, some type of liquid. Also on my liquid diet, I could have sugar-free popsicles, sugar-free jello, sugar-free pudding that was thinned out. I could also have broth. I could have sugar-free juice. I could have like a diet V8. I could have water with some water enhancers added. So like a Mio or Crystal Light, different types of powders or liquids that were sugar-free could be added to flavor my water. I could also have sugar-free Gatorade, Propel. So there's different things that you can have on this liquid diet, and it's not just restricted to water. It's not a water diet. You definitely need to make sure that you're getting your protein in, which is super important, because you're not going to be really consuming any other calories other than 15 calories for a popsicle or 60 calories for some pudding. So protein is super important in this liquid phase. That's just kind of what my experience looked like. And this all takes me back to my tip 1 and why it is so important for you to kind of just ask and make sure those expectations are clear up front. And what is this going to look like? What am I going to have to do when I get to the liquid phase? Like, how long is it going to be? What do I have to do? So you can prepare your mind as soon as possible and you can get going. So that takes me on actually to tip number 2. So my tip number 2 is to explore. Get out and experiment, explore. There are so many different types of proteins. If you are new to having like protein shakes, you kind of want to test the waters. I know for my program, they recommended like different brands, and I don't think I went with any of the brands that they recommended actually, but they did have some guidelines for me. But I'm just saying that to say, like, there's just so many options you can have. So there's pre-made protein shakes, which are great if you are just kind of busy or you want something convenient, you want to just grab and go. And then there's also, protein powders that you can buy. Also different flavors, but you can really like mix those up, and you can use a variety of liquids to mix with your protein powder. So you have to find kind of like what works for you. So here's my little first trick that I have is to experiment with like a variety pack. So I know a popular brand that people like to drink is Premier Protein, and it's a pre-made shake. You get it, you throw it in the refrigerator, take it out the refrigerator when you're ready for it, shake it up, and you drink it. And it's super convenient, it's super easy, and they have a whole bunch of flavors. Like, people swear by some of the flavors, so it just depends, of course, on your personal taste. But here's a tip that I have. Go online and look for a variety pack. Generally, these come in like 4 packs. You might be able to buy them solo to try them. I'm not sure. I haven't found any you can buy separately, but I do see different brands that you can just get in the grocery store and just buy a single one. So that's always my advice is, if you're picky, I'm picky. If you're picky, like, these protein shakes sometimes come in a 4-pack or a 6-pack. Don't buy a 4-pack or a 6-pack and you're unsure if you're going to like it, and you're also like me, and if you don't like it, you're not going to make yourself drink it. So if you are like that, I would suggest to buy a single one. So for this Premier Protein brand, I found online where you can get a variety pack. So their variety packs come in different sizes. You can get like a 6-pack that has 6 different flavors. You can get a 10-pack that has 10 different flavors. You can get like a 15 or a 20-pack or something, and it has like 15 different flavors. So they have a lot of flavors. They have seasonal flavors. So like around the holidays, I think they have like different flavors. Maybe in the summer they have different like limited flavors. So they have a lot of different flavors that you can choose from. And like I said, they're ready to go. Just shake it, drink it. So that is my trick that I have for you all, is to try things. So if you can, get those variety packs, because that way you know what you like, and it is a little bit more expensive, say, versus buying a 4-pack. So the price per bottle will be a little bit more. So if you are able to put that in your budget, I would say definitely try that, because then you know what you like. So then if you want to get a whole case of 4 or 12 or how many ever, you know that you're going to drink them. So that is my tip for you all. I will say also with protein powders. Protein powders you can get in a bag or you can get in a big canister. You take it usually comes with a scoop. You scoop it and you put it into your liquid. A lot of people use milk as a base. It could be cow's milk. It could be, again, a nut milk, but you put it in a shaker and you shake it up and then you drink it. They're also super quick too, because all you have to do is get your liquid and get your scoop. So it's pretty simple just to mix it and go. However, some of these sites and some of these different brands, I don't know about in the store. Maybe if you go to like a supplement store, like a Vitamin Shop or a GNC, they might have this. But if they don't, if you go online, some of these brands sell little packs of single served trials. So you don't have to buy like a $50 or a $30 canister and be stuck with a flavor that you don't like, because these powders come in a lot of different flavors too. So my tip is to look for samples, look for variety packs, and really test out these flavors to see what's going to work for you. Okay. So tip number 3, making sure you're maximizing your liquids during this phase. If you find yourself getting hungry, feeling kind of weak, or like getting headaches or feeling low energy, make sure you're really checking with your program and the guidance that they gave to see how many calories they recommend or how much protein they recommend that you have per day. So for me, they recommended, 3 to 4 shakes a day. And I honestly didn't want that many shakes. Like, I wasn't really super excited about this phase, but I definitely noticed it was easier for me the more protein I got in. So the more protein I had, the less hungry I was, the less cranky I was, the more energy I had, because I wasn't eating this week pre-surgery, but really maxing out on my protein. So having 3 to 4 protein shakes a day really helped me. So that is definitely my 3rd tip. Maximize on what you can for the day. So if your program is focused on protein numbers, grams of protein, make sure you're maximizing on those grams of protein you should be meeting. If it is a number of shakes, if they recommend you to have 3, 4, 5 shakes a day, make sure you're maximizing on those shakes, which is why it helps to really look and see what's going to work for you, what you're going to be able to tolerate, what flavors you like, and all of that. That's going to be very important. So make sure you are maxing out on what you can have. Definitely if you're feeling weak, if you're getting headaches, if you're feeling low energy, you probably just need some more protein, and that will take you such a long way. It will definitely help you in this time. So I have another little trick that I'm going to squeeze in here. So a trick number 2 is to get some unflavored protein. So you'll see this marked as unflavored, flavorless, no flavor, but it's just protein that doesn't have a flavor. So it's not like a chocolate or a vanilla or like some kind of like cool flavor. Is just unflavored. So this way you can sneak in protein. So similar to tip number 3 that we talked about, like maybe needing to add more protein. So if you see yourself tired, fatigued, headaches, just feeling weak, you can just sneak in some protein. You can add this to your protein drinks. So I would do this with my protein drinks. Instead of my protein drink being 35 grams of protein, I would just add a scoop of unflavored protein. It wouldn't change the taste of it or the thickness of it, but instead of the 35, now it's 55. So that was a good way to make me feel fuller longer and definitely give me some more energy. And not only can you just add it to protein shakes, but you can add it to Jello, or you can add it to pudding, you can add it to your soups, you can add it to your juice, you can add it to your water and put a little water enhancer into it. and you can just really get that protein in. So you can still mix up what you're eating, but that way you're still getting the protein, and it's going to help your energy, and it's going to help you feel fuller just a little bit longer. So that is my trick number 2. Okay. So tip number 4 is to mix it up. Mix it up. Do what you can to find different combinations. Search online. Use your resources. Look for different mixtures that you can do if you get bored easily. So a lot of people like to just play with the combinations of like protein. Maybe you can mix 2 different type of protein flavors. You can also use, instead of milk, you can try to use water. You can get used to using water. You can try to use a different type of milk. Even with the milk, for me, I tried to look for a milk that had added protein in it. So I would use that and give me a boost of more protein. But just play with different things to see what you like. You can go online and you can even find recipes where you can get a box mix of instant sugar-free Jello, and you can add these different flavors of Jello to different flavors of protein to change the taste of the protein. So there's all different things that you can do. There's so many different types of sugar-free water enhancers. You can play with those and see what you like. You can even mix and match them, and then you can add a scoop of protein in there, so it's like you're drinking juice, but you're getting the protein that you need. So tip number 4 is just mix it up. Try different combinations. Don't be scared to kind of just venture off. Make sure it fits within your requirements of your program, but as long as it fits within there, try to mix and match a little bit. I made popsicles and threw in some protein in there. Now, I didn't like it, but I tried it. I experimented, and I kept it fresh, and that really helped me to pass that time along. So let me know, guys, if you would like to see me maybe do a video on some different like combinations, things that I found that were good, maybe things that were not so good, but I definitely can do a separate video on that. Okay, so tip number 5. Tip number 5 is to plan ahead. Okay, so this is very important because you don't want to get behind on your protein. You need to make sure you're still getting your fluids in. So you're probably going to have a protein requirement that you need to meet every day and a liquid requirement you're going to have to meet every day. So make sure it's just like if you would plan dinner for the day. Make sure you have your protein ready to go. Make sure you have your protein powder or your protein shakes. Make sure you have your water ready. If you drink bottled water or filter water, make sure you have it accessible. If you're going to be out on the run for the day, make sure you have your protein shake with you. Make sure you have your bottle of water with you. If you're going into work, make sure you have your lunch packed and you have your protein shake. But it's really going to help you be successful if you plan ahead. Don't just think, oh, I'm not eating, so I'll just, I'll worry about it tomorrow, like day to day. You don't want to do that because you might let half the day go by and you didn't start your protein or your water. And this is super critical once you have surgery, post-surgery. Now, depending on the person, it might be super critical for you too pre-surgery. But if you don't have an as busy life, it won't be as critical. But once you have surgery, it's going to be really important that you're utilizing all the hours of the day that you are awake, making sure you're working towards meeting these goals. So just to give an example, if you wake up at 8 o'clock, you wake up, you get ready, you should start drinking water, start, getting your protein in, because there's only going to be so much you can sip at a time. So you're not going to be able to throw back a bottle of water in 20 minutes. You're going to be sipping throughout the day. So you definitely want to set yourself up for success by planning ahead and just making sure you're ready, making sure your water is ready for you, making sure you know how you're going to get your protein in for that day. But you definitely want to make sure you're prepared, because after surgery, like I said, you're going to need all day to just be sipping throughout the day and really being consistent to make sure you're hitting those goals. And that goes for your liquid goals and your protein goals. So plan ahead is tip number 5. Okay, and now for my last tip. Tip number 6. So tip number 6 is just starting early and easing into it and being kind to yourself. So this is just kind of like a lot smashed together, but I just think that this point is very important to leave with. Once you follow tip number 1, which is seeing what the program's requirements are, so you're in the know ahead of time. If you have time, start exploring and seeing what you like early. Start trying to ease into it. If you're working on meeting requirements for a program, maybe doing different tests or trying to lose a certain amount of weight before you can get approved, just start looking at different things. Start looking at different types of proteins. Just start, if you can, just getting a bottle here or a sample packet here and just see what you like so you're not waiting to the last minute for this. Also, maybe you take it little by little and, you ease yourself into, maybe you do a half day of just the liquid diet just to get used to that. And maybe you gradually build yourself up. So maybe, one day a week you're doing a liquid diet. So you're seeing how you're going to be able to handle this and what's going to work best for your lifestyle. I think it's very important, if you have the time and you set yourself up for success by starting as early as you can with just knowing what's going to work for you. However, I will say this tip with a caveat. One thing that I feel like I've seen a lot, and I was very cautious not to do, I haven't necessarily experienced it just quite yet in my own journey, but one common thing I see is people tend to stock up a lot before surgery. Once you have surgery, there's a possibility your taste buds are going to totally change. And not only your taste buds, like your preferences, but there's a possibility that what your body can tolerate is going to be a lot different after surgery. So I would say once you're preparing, you're planning ahead, you're trying these things early on, get enough for what you can consume before surgery. But just know, going into life after surgery, things might change. So I don't know if you should go to your local warehouse and buy like a whole case of something, because it might go to waste. You might not like it after your surgery. You might not be able to tolerate it after your surgery. So with all my tips of planning ahead and seeing what you like, that is one little caveat that I will give. Like I said, I have not experienced that yet. I really didn't buy too much before surgery, but so far, luckily, everything that I've tried, all my liquids, all my proteins that I've tried after surgery, I've been able to tolerate everything, and I haven't seen like a huge change, but I definitely see that a lot from other people on their journeys. So just keep that in mind as well. So yeah, that is all that I have for you, all the tips and tricks related to the liquid phase of weight loss surgery. So if you found at least one of these tips helpful, please like this video. If you know someone going through the process or thinking about going through the process, please share this video with them. If you haven't already subscribed, there will be new videos posted weekly every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can find me online at Sleeved and Awesome, all one word. I am on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. So thank you so much for watching.